Hey guys, Mrs. Stans here. So we're on lesson 9. Still solving equations, but these equations are now going to have decimals in them. And honestly, I'm going to let you use your calculators. So I guess we don't have to really worry too much about the important facts with operations with decimals, because your calculator is going to do it for you. So we're just going to be solving equations with decimals. You don't have to worry about recalling important facts. You have a do now to do. So if maybe you could try it without watching me do it, that would be great. So hit pause. So I guess you're back, and we have to explain the mistake and explain how it could be corrected.
I need your consent on a few items to continue.
I don't know what my phone is doing. So let's see. So on this very first step here, if the person solving it is trying to get rid of this minus 2x, right here it should have said plus 2x. They should have added 2x to both sides, not subtracted it. In the first step, you should add 2x to both sides, not subtract. And then, did everything else turn out all right? So, since I thought it was subtraction, that's why this says 6x. So, if it was subtraction, I guess that's really not a mistake. And then they added the 1, and they divided by 6, and negative 4 over 6 is negative 2/3. So there was only one mistake in this problem, and it was right here. Okay, so the way it could be corrected is by adding it. So that was that. We answered the question thoroughly. And I'm not going to be talking about or writing this stuff down. I would wish that you would know that when you add and subtract with decimals, you have to line up the decimal. And when you multiply, you have to count the number of decimal places. And when you divide, you move the decimal. But again, use that calculator. So there were a couple of questions I wanted to do with you. 1, 2, and 5. 1, 2, and 5. So what I just circled in blue, we're going to do together. Then on your own, I want you to do 3, 4, 7, and 9. Just change color. 3, 4, 7, and 9. Is that what I said? 3, 4, I gotta look. 7 and 9, yeah. 7 and 9. Actually, I think I kind of want to do, I'll do 10 with you so that you know how to do 9. So let's add a question in here that I'm going to do with you. I'm going to do 10 with you. So let's go do what I marked in blue. So remember, you can use your calculator, so I'm going to go get mine ready. Okay. So if I'm trying to solve for x, best first step is subtract 1.5x from both sides. I would wish that logically you can think about 9, take away 1 and a half, right? 9 take away 1 is 8. Take away another half is 7.5. Again, if you need your calculator, use it. But I need you guys to use a little bit of common sense, right? 9 take away 1.5 is 7.5. So now I have to divide both sides by 7.5. And then this is where I guess you can use a calculator. Again, it might be something I wish you could do, but I don't know. 15 divided by 7.5 is 2. And that's your final answer. Number 2, I'm going to subtract 8.8r from both sides. Now remember, this is like a negative 1, and that's a negative 8.8, so it turns out to be negative 9.8r. So since I just crossed off the r's from the right, now I want to be able to cross this off. The only way I'm allowed to, though, is if I do the opposite. So I'm going to subtract the 4.2 from each side. So negative 9.8r equals, and you can use your calculator if you need to. Enter it exactly as you see it. 14 minus 4.2. I get 9.8. Divide both sides by negative 9.8. And r equals negative 1. Number 5 has distributing in it. We're not going to do two different methods. So 3.8x plus, and use your calculator, 3.8 times 0.4. Is 1.52, and that equals 1.14. So we're trying to solve for x, so we'll subtract 1.52 from both sides. So 1.14 minus 1.52 is negative 0.38. Divide both sides by 3.8, and x equals negative 0.1. Okay, so remember, just use your calculator carefully. I don't want you to get things wrong because you enter it incorrectly on your calculator. And let's do number 10, because this is a cross product question. So I'll do this one first. I'll write down the 2 times 4.4x, and then I'll write this one down, 2 times 1.6 plus 0.4x. And over here, that's just multiplying. I get 8.8x. Over here, it's distributing. So I get 3.2. And like I said, I really wish you would use some of your common sense. Like, do you know that 16 times 2 is 32? So that's why this is a 32 with a decimal here, because there was a decimal place there. And we have to add on whatever 2 times 0.4 is. Well, 2 times 4 is 8, so I guess it's a 0.8. And if you don't believe me, go ahead and go do it, right? 2 times 1.6, yep, 3.2, and 2 times 0.4, and that's a 0.8. So use your common sense, but use your calculators too. Don't make any silly mistakes. I'm trying to solve for x, so I want to be able to cross this one off, so I'll subtract 0.8x from both sides. And look at this, my decimals are lined up. Like, I don't need my calculator for this. 8.8, take away the 0.8, I must be left with 8. Divide both sides, and x equals 0.4. And I know that so quickly because I know that 32 divided by 8 is 4, so this one just needs a decimal point in it. And then I want you to go do what we circled in orange on your own, and then check back with me on the answers. So you can hit pause. So I would subtract 2.3x, and I'm left with 4.5x. Divide both sides by 4.5. I get 4. On this one, I will subtract the 2.5b from both sides. And I'm left with 2.5b minus 1 equals negative 8.5. Add 1 to both sides. 2.5b equals negative 7.5. Divide both sides by 2.5. So b equals negative 3. And again, if you don't believe me, negative 7.5 divided by 2.5 is negative 3. Number 7, we have to distribute. 4.25m minus, and this one I actually want a calculator for. Like other things I was able to do on my own, this one I didn't know it was 68, so I get minus 68. So I'll add 68 to both sides. And divide both sides by 4.25. So we can double check that negative 17 plus 68. Of course, Mrs. Dans was right. Divide by 4.25, and we get 12. And then if we do the cross products, so this one I write down 5 parentheses, 5.3 plus 0.2x equals 3 parentheses, 3.2x plus 5.5, and we'll distribute. I get 26.5 plus 1.0x, or just 1x, equals 9.6x plus 16.5. And And then I will subtract 9.6x. And subtract 26.5. That's a negative 10. And divide by negative 8.6. I'm going to use my calculator. Negative 10 divided by negative 8.6. Oof, what the heck is that? So, this, I don't know. It's like a decimal that I bet you maybe starts repeating. 162790698. Now there's a way of using your calculator and changing decimals to fractions, because sometimes a fraction is a little nicer. On my calculator, I have this math button that changes things to fractions. So it's 50 over 43. On your calculator, on scientific calculators, there's usually some kind of button. Let's see if it's here. I don't even know. On this calculator. I don't see something here. But on like a scientific calculator in school, I could show you if you don't know where your fraction button is. I don't see it on this. But those are the problems I want to do in class. The rest you have is homework, but let's just look. On homework, I want you to do 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and I do want you to do one check for number 2. I'm not going to make you do all the checks, but we do have to practice those checks. 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. Let's go mark those. So for homework, let me change my color again into green. 1, 2, and right over here, check so that you don't forget. And 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. 3, 5, and 7. So that's it. Have a good day. Send me any questions that you have. See ya. Bye.